to it. The game of the weekend, it's a basketball game that sounds like a big football game, and traditionally it is a big football game. This weekend, it's also an amazing basketball game. First place in the SEC on the line, Tennessee at Alabama, Coleman Coliseum. Both schools are 12-3 in the SEC, so the winner going to be alone atop the SEC standings with just 2 games left on the schedule. It'd be awesome in the first weekend of March no matter what, but it's especially awesome given the heater that Dalton Knecht finds himself on right now. Deadleg, let me know if you would agree with this. Zach Edey is going to be the National Player of the Year, but Tennessee's Dalton Knecht is becoming, on some level, the story of the sport.
It's March. Good morning. I think I might agree with that. I'm on fire. Friday, March is here. As you can see, Parrish is just as excited. And for everyone listening, I gave you a little treat to start the show anyway. So you're welcome. I did it late last night. And I couldn't at least not give you a little something there. We got a huge, huge weekend. This game, I think this game is a great balance between, it's like got a lot of entertaining, facets to it. But other than Tennessee trying to play for the one-line GP, I don't think it means that much. I'm going to love just watching a game between 2 awesome teams that might go 90-plus points. I think Dalton Knecht has a case as the most valuable player now in the sport. RJ Davis, frankly, isn't that far behind. I'm not all the way there that Zach Edey is the lock now to win National Player of the Year. I'm saying I think he will win it, but it's not inconceivable. And I'll tell you what, at least at CBS Sports, because as your reminder, as GP well knows, we hand out that award after the Elite Eight and before the Final Four. So if we got to a situation where 1 seed Purdue got knocked out by, 8 seed whatever team from the Mountain West.
Yeah,
there.
Sounds like Colorado State.
Yeah, like Colorado State beats Purdue, and Dalton Knecht carries Rick Barnes to the Final Four in Tennessee for the first time in program history. Under those circumstances, Dalton Knecht would have a very real chance at least winning National Player of the Year for us. Now, there are 6 other major National Player of the Year awards. Some of those voting houses close the Monday after the regular season ends. So before we even get to conference tournaments, others close after Selection Sunday. So Zach Edey is going to win National Player of the Year. But Dalton Knecht continues to be on a heater. I'm very intrigued to see just how much he eats this weekend against an Alabama defense that's had a lot of issues here. Game feels like something of a toss-up. We are going to pick this at the very end of the show, just talk about all the facets and things surrounding this game. But pretty dynamite matchup we've got here, GP. And again, whatever team wins, whatever team loses, I just don't think like there's too much on the line with this, but doesn't mean I don't appreciate and won't be super geeked to tune in and see what we get from Dalton Knecht. I'll also mention Mark Sears. I do the Naismith Player of the Year updates weekly for CBS and on social and all that. And past couple of weeks, I've had Mark Sears in the top 10. I think he is a worthy person of being included. His numbers have been outstanding, and he has been the biggest reason why Alabama has obviously been, top 10 status for much of the past 2 months.
Nothing on the line. You're very disrespectful to conference championships. Do you not value conference championships?
I actually don't. So that's actually, in all sincerity, it means a ton to the program, their fans. It doesn't bother me who wins and whether you win a conference championship or not. It's a great story, but I don't care who wins the conference championship. So
okay, well, I'm certain somebody somewhere does, and the conference championship is perhaps on the line. It could be decided.
It's not even definitely right. It's perhaps on the line.
Well, I mean, okay, they're tied for first. They're both 12-3. The winner will have a 1-game lead over the other with 2 games left to play. No, nobody's clinching anything, but certainly it puts you in a advantageous position. It's a high stakes basketball game. I don't know why you're trying to discount it.
I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not discounting it. I'm saying it's a really, really good game, but it's not like they're playing to get into the tournament. There'll be other games with higher urgency. That's all I'm saying. But I'm more excited for this matchup than any other matchup this weekend.
Okay. On Dalton Knecht, National Player of the Year candidate, I mean, I guess if you have to have a list, then certainly he's got to be on it. And if I had to put together a list, say submit a ballot of 5, he might be number 2. But I still think in this moment, the gap between he and Zach Edey is pretty significant. The way you explained it is exactly how we could end up with a Dalton Knecht National Player of the Year at CBS Sports. Edey goes out early. Knecht takes Tennessee to the Final Four on this historic run. Absolutely, I'll cast a ballot for him because what he's been doing and what he would have to do to make that happen would obviously be unbelievable. But in this moment, like March 1st, 2024, Zach Edey is still averaging more points, more rebounds, nearly the same number of assists, shooting better from the field, and he's doing it for a more accomplished / better team. So in this moment, I don't think it's particularly close. Zach Edey would be your National Player of the Year. But, yeah, we got a long ways to go between the time you and I go submit a ballot for that. And I suppose Dalton Knecht continuing to play this way and taking Tennessee deep is one way somebody could catch it. Just some numbers for you real quick, just to provide some context. Right now, Zach Edey's KenPom Player of the Year rating, if you follow that stuff, is a 2.390, and that's 0.799 better than everybody else. Second place is Deron Holmes at Dayton, 1.591.
Whoa.
So I know, right? So then Edey is 0.799 ahead of him. I promise.
I love when you talk math. Hey, can we go back to what teams need to do to finish at 500? I love this.
I'm better at this. Last season, 2.106 was his KenPom Player of the Year rating. And that was 0.485 ahead of second place, which was UCLA's Jaime Jaquez. So here's my point. Zach Edey's KenPom Player of the Year rating, whatever it's worth, is better this year than it was last year. And he is further ahead of the pack right now than he finished last season.
It's a nugget.
Player of the Year today. Easy. But sure, I guess Dalton Knecht could maybe.
I'm just saying I'm not 100% there. I'm like 96% there under the circumstances I provided to you before. And I think part of this, surely you must agree, GP. By the way, did I mention it's March? Dalton Knecht is more fun to watch play basketball than Zach Edey, and he is a newer thing. So thankfully, college basketball doesn't seem to have the kind of voter fatigue for MVP that you certainly get at the NBA level. I mean, hell, we watched Nikola Jokic not win another MVP because he hadn't won an NBA Finals yet, even though the NBA MVP reward is only based on what you do in the regular season. They gave it to Joel Embiid, and then Jokic goes on and wins a championship there. We don't have that in college hoops, which I am very thankful for. But if you just watch Zach Edey play, I find him to be a wonder, but his game doesn't have, I'm going to drop that coveted phrase on this podcast. His game does not have the sex appeal of many other high-end players there. And Dalton Knecht is a firecracker and a fire launcher. And on any given moment, he is liable to go off on a personal 10-0 run against the team. And so because of that, I still give it a chance, long term. But it's also why I think it's not completely out of the picture. But that being said, I think it's going to be Edey.
If you are operating with a mindset where you're going to get bored with your Zach Edey and start looking for the new fun thing with sex appeal, that's a little firecracker. That's how you end up divorced, dead leg. That's exactly how you end up divorced going through life.
Are you a divorce expert?
I'm an expert on everything.
Okay.
I'm an expert on everything. I'm just saying, you start getting bored with your Zach Edey, looking for the new fun thing with sex appeal. That's how you end up divorced, dead leg.
More of us.
He has been, I tell you, on one. The other night, so 12:02 left. This is Wednesday night. 12:02 left in the game. They're in a game with Auburn up in Knoxville. And Auburn's up 8, 63-55. And from there, Dalton Knecht outscored Auburn by himself 25-21, flipped an 8-point deficit into an 8-point win. Afterwards, Rick Barnes said that final 12 minutes was one of the great performances I've ever been able to see. This is a man who coached Kevin Durant for a year at Texas, and he was blown away by what he watched Dalton Knecht do. Knecht's now averaging 20.8 points per game, but 26.6 in Tennessee's last 14. So as the competition has increased, those are all SEC games, he's gotten better. And as he's transferred up from mid-major to high major, he's gotten better. Shooting above 52% from three, Tennessee's past 3 games, looking like a legitimate lottery option in the 2024 NBA draft. Let me ask you that. You believe in him? You willing to spend a lottery pick on him?
Yeah, I think he's probably worth it at this point.
Yeah. So I agree with you. This is why I wanted to open with this one. Whether you take the stakes of conference championships seriously or not,
Yeah.
it should be a blast of a basketball game as well. And with Knecht coming off, like I said, it'd be big no matter what. First weekend of March, two teams, power conference, playing for first place. That's big no matter what. But it's especially big with Knecht coming off of the 39-point effort everybody just watched and was blown away by.